Hello everyone, this is Jaya for the session of digitalization. Today we are going to understand what is the impact, what is the importance of digital tool in our business model. So my first slide comprises of two friends in which one's name is Bob and second name is David. So both are in the business of tours and travel, but in this scenario, Bob is earning less, whereas David is earning more. So why it is happening that Bob is they are into the same business, but Bob is earning less and David is earning more? Why? Because the Bob is taking his business through a physical manner in a traditional way of method, taking all the paperwork, taking all the requests, which is consuming time for uh, making approved. But whereas David is using the digital tool where he is completing the request, complaint, queries on time for the consumers, and that makes the customers happy with the service of David. Whereas the Bob is struggling to get the request completed for the consumers, and it is consuming a lot of time where the customers are really not in a mood to wait for their service to be completed. So in this scenario, we see there are two methods which the two people are using. Bob is using the traditional way of method, whereas the David is using the digital tool. So my second slide comprises of what is the actual difference between the traditional versus digital method. In a traditional method, there are more manpower is involved, the time consumption is more, it's a very high costing, the processing is very slow, and the errors of the chances are very, very high. Whereas in a digital method, the less manpower is involved, the time consumption is less, it is done in a very low costing, the processing is really fast, and it is done in a more and more accuracy. That's why in today's world, everybody wants a digital tool rather than the traditional method, because in a traditional method, more and more time is consumed, in which in this era, the customer doesn't want to wait and he wants a service to complete instantly. That is a way in every business life, or whereas in a domestic life everybody wants it should be in a faster processing, and that's the reason they are more encouraging the digital tool rather than a traditional method. Now my second slide comprises when I'm talking about a digitalization or a digital tool, what is the exact meaning of digitalization? So when I'm talking about the digitalization, it comprises of four components, in which there is a technology, then comes data, then comes the process, and the last comes the organizational change. So when we are talking about technology, when you are running a business on an online platform, there is always a technology, and this technology creates a new or modify the existing technology, which makes the transparent for both the business as well as the consumers. With the hand in hand, it goes to data. When you are doing a business on an online platform, you can make analysis of your product or your brand, and the data is all available on an online platform where you can analyze it and where you can understand what is your brand and the product is standing in this actual market situation. That's the reason we require the data, and it is very secured on an online platform. Third comes the process. So the process, which when we automate that process, it simplifies the complexity of the business, and which makes it effective for the consumers as well as for the business part. So these factors go hand in hand, where you require the technology, you require the data, you require the automation process for your business, and that's what it makes a digital tool. Now, the last point, which comprises of the organizational change. So, in this scenario, when we understand the consumers want something from your brand or a product, so you have to meet the demands of the customer. You have to make organizational change within yourself so that you can reach the demand of the consumers and you can make the consumer happy with your service, with your product, with your brand. And that's the reason you have to do an organizational change to meet all the demands of the consumers. So that is why it defines into the four components, that is a technology, data, automation process, And lastly, the organizational change. Now, my second slide comprises of the what is the importance of digitalization which comes in your mind. So when we are talking about the digital tool, it increases the efficiency when we are using that digital tool in our business module. We are running it in an online platform, and that makes it easy for both the consumers as well as for the business. Second point comprises of if your document is lost or it is corrupted or it is somewhere it is stolen or something, you can retrieve those documents on an online platform. But can you understand, can it be possible in a traditional way of method? No, we can't do that because we have to start from the scratch from A to Z. But in a digital method, we can retrieve the data, we can have the data safe in an online cloud where it makes the possible for all the data is safe in your online platform. But this is not possible if you're using a traditional way of method in your business. So these two things, first is increasing the efficiency. Second, if your document is secured. Third point, which comes about the importance of the digital tool in a business growth, that is of the retention of the customers. So whenever you are handling an online business, so you all require consumers to come through your website and do the repeat purchases. But if your representative try to solve the query or the complaint of the consumer very attentively, very proactively, the consumer will be happy with your service and it will recommend your website to other people, and he or she will come to do repeat purchases. That is what it makes it possible for the business as well as for the consumer, because if the consumers are getting good service, if I put in myself into that particular field, so I'll be happy if I being serviced well. If my query has been answered so attentively, proactively, I'll be really happy and I will recommend that site to other people to purchase the products from there. That is why the digital tool has its own importance, has its own benefits. But if you see in a traditional way of method, these benefits doesn't count there. Second slide comprises of what are the, very sorry, what are the examples of digitalization. So if you ask about the examples of digitalization, so nowadays the people doesn't carry the hard copy with them. They can just convert them into a PDF file, or they can scan it and keep it in their email ID or anyway which is put it in an online, and they can access it when they require. Even if you're filling up a form or something, it is really important because nobody wants the paper should be lost. Nobody wants that it should be stolen or something. So if it is keeping in a digital mode, that becomes easy for the people to access it at a very time whenever they are required. That's the reason the digital tool is really, really important in a business module when you are running a business on an online platform. Now, what is the advantages of digitalization? We have read about what is the difference between a traditional method and a digital tool. So it comes like a time saving, cost saving, accuracy, easy distribution, secured, and increase in profits. So these points come hand in hand, because when you're doing, when I'm saying time saving, so you can sit in any place and you can order or purchase any product what you want. Cost saving, if you are not going from one place to another for a particular product or a brand, you can save that time and you can save the cost. Here it gives an accuracy. The efficiency of accuracy is really important. Easy distribution, when you want to means if you want to distribute the information about your product or your brand, you can do it on a social media where it is really easy, where you can grab a lot more people over there. But in a traditional way or method, it is not possible because you have to print it in a flyers and you go to house to give that information about your brand and product. But in today's world, in a digital tool, you can do it on an social media pages where you grab more and more people and they will come to know about your brand, product, or a company. Last comes the secured. When we are talking about the secure, the documents are secure. Whatever the documents, it is about your brand, about your company, about your product. There's all saved in an online platform, which makes it really safe for you. If it is corrupted or anything, if it is stolen, you can still retrieve it online. And the last part is increase in profit. When we are talking about increase of profit, that means the retention of the customer. When you are retaining those customers, you are increasing the customer base as well as the profits for your business. So for now, we have understood what is actual digitalization, what is the importance, what are the examples, why digital tool is really important while you're running on a business module. So now, when we are concluding the digitalization, I have spoken about that there would be another case study dealing with a QR code. So, my today's topic would be an e-commerce industry. You all know, you are very aware of e-commerce industry. Everybody nowadays shop online, where it becomes a convenient and easy for the consumers as well as for the business, and they can improvise each and everything. So my case study is totally belong in a shopping of e-commerce. So my first question which comes in a mind, that what is a QR code, what is the use of QR code in a e-commerce does. So, like if I say, if you own an e commerce business, it could be sell your clothes, shoes, cosmetics, anything. But the main question, if you have this business, how would you drive that traffic on your website? How would you increase the app downloads? That is the main question which comes in your mind if you're running an e commerce business on your site. So these two questions are there. Third, how would you increase your customer base? That's the third point which comes around it when you are talking about the QR code in e-commerce industry. And the last point which comes in your mind, how would you make your business visible to other people also? So first, the question comes how you would drive the traffic on your website, how you drive the app downloads. Third would be how would you increase the customer base, and the last point would be the visibility of your business in the towards the customers. So here comes the QR code in the picture where it saves you from that. So the QR code is a particular technology in helping this e-commerce business to do it. From how it helps the QR code in the e-commerce industry by giving detailed information about the product or building the customer loyalty. That means the customer service is built so strong about the particular product. If I come to a site and if I get a good customer service, I would be really happy in an e-commerce website that okay, I'm buying something, I'm having some product into an I'm having a problem in purchasing that product, and if your customer representative is proactively helping me out, it's really important. So the second part, it also manages the inventory when you're talking about the QR code technology, which comes or plays, or you can say it's an important ingredient in the e-commerce industry. Now, your second question when you are running this e-commerce business. So, second question that would be, how can you use this QR code? What are the base or what are the points are there which you have to keep in mind when you are running this e-commerce business through QR code? So, in my mind, I have some points when I'm dealing with this study. That is the ensuring the product transparency for the customers. The first thing which comes everybody's mind, because in today's world, everybody is they have their hard-earned money and they are giving that money to purchase a particular product or brand. So whatever they are giving the money to that particular product, they want that product should be good, it should be liable, and whatever they are investing the money on it, it should be better. And that is what we call the transparency of the product for the consumers. So now your question comes into the mind, how the QR codes work in this place. So QR code comes in the rescue for this in a transparency of the product that encodes the detailed product information, even sharing the website, the links, and even the social media pages where you can look about the entire information about the product. And that makes it convenient for the consumer, because nowadays the people want the information about the product in which they're investing the money. You all know, when if I also buy something, I'll have to get through the entire information of the product, because if the product is costly or uh, it is not to your budget or something, and if we are investing on it, we will always try that we should get more and more knowledge about that product and whether it is good for us or not, whether it is reliable to us, whether it is useful for us. So that is the main point which comes in everybody's mind when you are purchasing something in an online website. Now, second point which comes into my mind is when you are running an e-commerce business. I'm talking about both in a customers as well as for the business module. The business module offers coupons and discounts. So when you all will be happy if I'm buying or purchasing something, and if you're getting a good coupons or discount, you will be really happy. So it's a common use, it's a common thing for a business to run this promotional campaigns for a particular product or a brand. So, and if you are using the print media or something, the QR code helps into it. And when the person scans that QR code on that particular print media or something, the landing page would be onto that particular coupon or discount page where they are trying to buy the particular product. So when you land on that particular page, you can redeem those coupons or a discount. That makes it's a general thinking, whether I'm talking about myself or whether I'm talking about you as a normal customers. They have that mentality, if you could say, that they want, if they're purchasing something, there should be some gifts or some coupons or discount that they can redeem it. Everybody has these things in a mind. This is a common thing which comes into your mind when you go to an online e-commerce website. So these things you don't get in a traditional way of method. You go to place, but you will be getting an exact price. You won't get any discounts. You won't get any coupons for it when you're purchasing even clothes or a shoes or something. But more and more things you're getting on an online website to get through it, and you are really happy if you're getting if. Example, if you're buying a shoes for like 3,000 bucks, and those 3,000, if you have a coupon to that related company or a brand and you redeem it and it gets to, if the shoes is 3,000 and you're getting it into 2,000, every person will be happy. Even I'll be happy if I'm buying the shoes to it. So that is the main point. It makes the e-commerce business, it the e-commerce business makes it easy for the consumers to go through it and try to make more and more purchases. And for that, he has to keep that customer support very attentive, very proactive, because every buying there is a complaint, there is a request, there have many number of questions when they are buying something on an online e-commerce website. So third point, after these 2 points, my third point which comes into the mind is to direct the customers to your online shopping website. It should be like how the QR code comes when QR code in the e-commerce industry is the most important. By using or by scanning this QR code, you can go to that. E-commerce can create a URL QR code for their site. As the consumer scan it, so they have the landing page on that particular shopping website instead of going from one place to another searching for a website or something. But if you have that UR QR code in your e-commerce business, that makes the consumers having a easy interface for them, and they can go to the landing directly to the landing page instead of searching for that particular website. So this URL QR code is really important when you are running an e-commerce business. My fourth point, which comes in your mind when you go for a e-commerce website, so there is a point where comes delivering the personalized gift. You always heard whenever you're purchasing, there is always an icon comes for personalized gift. Whatever you are buying, you can send a message through it, and there the QR code helps you out. If you put a QR code on it, uh, so you can put a message to it. If you're purchasing that, you can send that message through a QR code to whomever you are presenting that gift to your loved ones. So the personalized gift is also one part which you can include in your e-commerce business, because this is a really common thing. Uh, because personalized gifts, everybody wants it if there is a birthday or a wedding anniversary or anything. So if you don't have a time, so what is the best way to do it? You can go for online shopping, and if there is a personalized gift part, and if has the QR code which makes that easier, that you can put that QR code on that particular gift and put a message on it. So whenever he or she receives that gift, he or she can scan it and read the message for that particular gift. So that is also a one important point when you are running that e-commerce business, because it's both helpful in a for a business as well as for the customer. Now, second point which comes into my mind is easy inventory and management. So when an e-commerce industry runs, so when you everybody knows that every product has a barcode, but they have some challenges when they are doing the inventory management. So what does come in your mind first? That there is a limited information which you can't edit or do anything in that. There would be a scanner which is the most dedicated for all the barcodes, and if the barcode is damaged, you can't scan it again. So in nowadays, the QR code is replacing this barcodes, because they can uh, they can change the information whatever they wanted. They can scan it even if it is damaged. So that is the reason the QR code is getting a step ahead through the barcode, which makes it easier for both the business as well as the consumer, and it makes that bulk tracking also, because a barcode does a bulk tracking, and if it is damaged or something, you can't scan it. So it becomes a challenge for a business to do it. So that is why the QR code is replacing those barcodes and making a important position when you are doing that inventory management through QR code. So that is why QR code is an important ingredient whichever business you are in, and QR code helps you to make it more and more easy for you as well as for the customers. Now, the second point, if you say, you can add a Google Map QR code for your physical store. So, how can you do? Every person now, whenever you are buying something, even if you're buying a furniture or if you're buying some clothes, so if you have that Google Map or a Google Map in your QR code on your website, the person can scan it and can get the address of the physical store of that particular brand or product. So everybody in today's world, everybody wants that to be done, because okay, if I can explain in this way, that when you see some product on an online platform, you don't know the material, how it is good or bad, or it is not worth it to buying. So what one thing comes in your mind, that is okay, if we can get to a physical store and get along with it, and we try to understand actually how the product is, so that if the physical store is not giving it any discount or something, so at least we can have a try for a physical store and get to know about the product. And for this, you can upload that QR code Google Map in that, so that it becomes easier for the consumers to go through it, and they'll understand the physical store address and to the nearest store or a nearest location, so that it makes it easier to understand what is the product all about. It is good to buy, or it is worth it of buying, or it is a worth of this much amount. So these all things goes around. with if you add that Google Map QR code in your website as a QR code. So my last point comprises of added designated feedback QR code for your customers. So if you, I'm talking about every business, every shopper or anything, if I'm talking about any industry, so feedback for the shopping experience is really important. If you're running the e-commerce business or you're running any other business, so you always wanted that how the customer has an experience, it was a good or it was a bad, or he was not satisfied the entire experience when he was buying the product from our e-commerce website. So the one thing which comes in a mind, how we can do it. So in my opinion, QR code is a great after when you purchase the entire product. The QR code is a great for having easy access for customers as well as for the shop owner. When you buy a product or something, you get feedback form. So in this, if the feedback form is attached with the QR code, what is the important thing which comes in your mind? Okay, if I bought this product, if it is good or not, you can write about your opinion, your suggestion about that this product is good or not, whether the other people should buy it or not. So the feedback becomes an important tool for both business as well as of e-commerce industry. So QR code is really, really what you say. It's an important ingredient when you are talking about e-commerce industry. So, what are the takeaway points for, or what are the benefits of using the QR code? Is the first is ensuring the product transparency for the consumers. Then you can offer discounts or the coupons that they can redeem it. Third would be develop an URL QR code for it that the landing page should be to your website. Then you can provide the personalized gifts whenever they are purchasing some product. Uh, Inventory tracking management is there through QR code. Then you can add a Google Map QR code to get about the nearest location or physical store for that particular brand or product. And last, you can add the feedback form to get the experience of the consumers, that how was the experience has gone through. So this is about the entire e-commerce industry, what we were talking about. So in the e-commerce industry, you always look for a good service, products, loyalty. You can track all the orders. You can track the physical stores as well. So there are sales, everything. So that is why e-commerce is a better option through QR code, which makes easier for the consumer to have a repeat purchases on your particular website if you're owning an e-commerce business. So I'm representing UX Living Lab. We are market research consultant. We always work on our customer insight day to day, so that we can try to tell you about how you can improvise your business, how you can improvise your product or a brand. And if you want any information regarding this, we can also try to help. But it's really easy to get in touch with us through a simple QR code. Nowadays, the QR code is a really easy way to get through it. So it is only your name and email ID, and you can just create a QR code, and whatever the service you required or you want any information about any product or a pricing or anything, we are ready to help, because for us, the consumers are really, really important. So that's the reason. If you want any information, I'll be sharing the calendar link so that you can book an appointment. Even I'll share the site of the QR code so that you can able to understand what is actually we are doing. So we are more about in a market research, and we will try to help you out to innovate your business, to improvise your product, or if you want any other information regarding how our company works, what are their features, we will always try to help you in that. So I hope you like this session, and if you have any suggestion that you want me to present for you to get some knowledge about some product or something, just let me know so that I can try to help you in this regard. So thank you for joining the session.